I'm starting to learn there's some things you can put on the internet and there's some things that you shouldn't. Hey guys, today I'm finally going to give you guys the story time of this house from the day I moved in until now, and I'm filling in all the blanks. I've seen all the questions, I've posted random breakdowns about the house online, deleted the videos. I'm just gonna basically tell you what the hell happened, where I'm at now, and we're gonna fill in some blanks. So sit back, relax, get your little drink of choice, and I'm gonna tell you guys a story. For those of you guys that have been following me since the pandemic, you guys saw me move home from LA, move into an apartment in Pennsylvania, and not like it. Very similar to this situation. And lockdown made me stay in that apartment. It forced me to pause and be okay with my surroundings. And if I didn't like my surroundings, it taught me how to change it. I really feel like in that apartment, I put my roots in the ground. I painted the walls. I had a glam suite. I made the apartment look like a coffee shop. And I saw myself go from miserable in that apartment to thriving in that apartment and being so inspired in that apartment. I knew it was time to move on from that apartment because I had already started building this house with my ex. I did have a chance to lose some of my down payment but walk away and not have to deal with the responsibility of a house. Or I had the opportunity to not lose my down payment, build some equity in the home by owning it, and try living in it since I already put a year and a half into building it. I actually had a lot of people in my personal life tell me you shouldn't do it. But that's how I knew I had a gut feeling, because normally I do listen to other people, but my gut was so loudly saying, but you are gonna regret it if you don't close on the house. You deserve to at least have a year in it. The breakup did taint the house at first. I knew that doing a mortgage by yourself is gonna be hard, but I knew in my heart this was the opportunity to really grow. I wanted a growth opportunity. That didn't scare me. I knew that whatever challenge the house brought to me, that I was gonna face it head on, and I knew I could trust myself because I know I'm a hard worker. I decided to close on the house. All I kept thinking about was the moving vlogs and how I loved watching moving vlogs and how I was gonna have independent girl moving vlogs because this was a whole new chapter for me. This is the independent era that you're looking for, and you need to learn how to do these things on your own. The moving vlogs were great, and I even did Vlogmas this year. But I think where it went wrong was that I used my apartment mindset and apartment logic with a house. When a house is a completely different thing, it's a completely different animal, and it's a huge responsibility, and it's a lot of work. And people always say that, but I feel like I'm that girl that's constantly proving my parents wrong. I mean, my career, they were it's not a steady job. And then look at me 10 years down the road still doing it. Even though people were saying it, you shouldn't do that. I was so confident, and I was like, psh, what are they talking about? And now I'm realizing a house is one of those things that parents really do know what they're talking about. Okay, so I move in. We're gonna talk adult stuff. Interest rates were not the best when I closed on the house, but I didn't wanna lose this house. I knew that there's always the opportunity to refinance. So I was like, you know what? We're just gonna do it. But then after the holidays, I realized in my apartment, I was able to redo the whole apartment in a matter of 3 months. A house, it's not going to take 3 months. It's gonna take a year or more to make it how I want and to make it look like me and feel like me. I thought that I could transform this house in 3 months. Real quickly, I learned that there is no way in hell I'm going to be able to transform this in 3 months. So just to move was expensive. But then when I needed help with things I couldn't lift or move because I'm only 5 foot, I realized that was expensive too. I actually downloaded the app Thumbtack where you could find handymen, and I actually got scammed. I just realized after that, I'm like, oh my God, this is gonna take a really long time till it feels inspiring to me. And that's when I felt really stuck with this channel. So then I entered my travel era. I get seasonal depression every year, and I also moved at a really bad time. If you guys have been watching my channel for years, you guys have seen I'm a different person in the summertime than I am in the wintertime. From after Christmas until March, even until April, I really go through it emotionally. I don't want to get too into it in this video because that's not what this is about, but I struggled on my ADHD medication. I was on it for 2 years, and I started taking it more than it was prescribed. ADHD medication are uppers, and I felt that lift in my mood when I would take it. They started acting as antidepressants for me every morning. They were the reason I got out of bed. And then I started realizing anytime I felt tired or upset or sad, I would take one, even if it was at like 6 p.m. at night, which led to insomnia and like addiction. And I don't want to get into that. This isn't the video for that. I was dealing with that and I didn't publicize it. That's when I realized, like, go be around a community of people that are gonna make you feel better. And for me, that was in LA. I also felt like I didn't have a community of people around me. I didn't know my neighbors. When I was in that relationship, I kind of isolated myself. I would just work, and then do things in that relationship. So I really struggled, not only living in a new house by myself, but like not having a community, not knowing what the fuck I was gonna do with my content, my channel, and this house. You know, ultimately, my life decisions become my content. And I felt like I had made a decision that led me to a dead end. Usually I'm so right with my decision making and my gut is really good. And I was like, wow, did I miss the mark? Like, why did I put myself in this situation? Usually I can trust myself. And I felt like for a while I couldn't trust myself. It wasn't until the end of February, beginning of March, that I saw the light at the end of this house tunnel. And I'm gonna explain to you guys what happened because this is literally wild. I knew that I needed to stop taking my ADHD medication, and I knew that I needed to like make a decision because I couldn't keep flying. I was getting tired. My health was declining so bad. I could tell there was just things really wrong with me. I decided to stay at home for a little bit and try getting off the medication. And in order to do that, I knew that something else was gonna have to replace those chemicals in my brain. And I've heard that endorphins can replace dopamine. I was like, you know what? We have to start working out. No matter how much you've resisted it your whole life, this is when you're gonna have to start working out. One day in February, I went on my first walk in my neighborhood. My very safe neighborhood. Keep that in mind. My neighborhood is very safe. I'm not kidding when I say this. I even have footage. I went on a walk. I felt really accomplished. As I'm walking back in my house, in front of my house, a car of kids drive by. One of the kids, his whole torso is hanging out of the backseat of the car, and it speeds up from behind me. He's holding a gun. I thought it was real. I hear the, like, start shooting things at me. It was Orbeez, like little Orbeez thingies. I think it was a pellet gun, but guys, like, that was terrifying. I thought in that moment that the universe was trying to tell me, you need to move. That's it. This house isn't for you. Like, I thought that was such a bad omen. Ironically, my neighbor across the street saw what happened, was helping me out. That was my first time meeting her. But before she met up with me, she posted the video on the Facebook group alerting the neighborhood. And they all came in front of my house and we all filed a police report together, and we all, like, they were all getting to know me. I told them my situation. That's when I feel like I started meeting my neighbors and feeling like I had a community in this neighborhood. That's how I became friends with my neighbors. And now, like, ever since that happened, I literally, Kevin, my neighbor, just texted me. All the big bubbles are my neighbors. Like, we all have like constant communication going on. I have guys behind my house. One of them cuts my grass every week and the other is my handyman. They don't rip me off. I have neighbors that I'm friends with, some married couples. I feel like that was a turning point for me. Also because the next day, instead of staying inside and being scared, I was like, fuck those guys. And I went out and I did the best walk of my life, and I walked 15,000 steps. And I've been in this like walking addiction since. Today I took my first Pilates class. I've been really getting into working out. I've been getting really into cooking. I got diagnosed with a thyroid problem. That's another video I can get into. My hormones, I'm taking hormones. I have PCOS, all of that's regulated. I feel like my mental health is taking a turn. Also, the seasonal depression is obviously gone because it's summer now. The house is getting refinanced. I'm staying here. I love this house. I deserve this house. You know, moving's not easy. Moving's a very, very hard thing to do. Every time I've moved, I've gone through a little depression after. And I think that, like, more people should talk about it. I feel like moving's like glorified on the internet, especially on YouTube. Change is hard, and maybe that's the earth sign in me. I feel like it takes me at least a year, like 9 months to a year, to be content, for it to feel like home. I am staying in this house and I did start redoing it. So the room we're working on first is this main room. It's the living room, the kitchen, the dining room. Look at the vibe already. It's so much more me. But yeah, I feel like I wanted to make this video before making more home content because I wanted you guys to know where I was at. I feel like as the viewer, you guys are like, should we get attached to these house vlogs? Is she moving? Like, and I just wanted to like let you guys in the loop like I always do. I just didn't feel comfortable enough letting you guys in the loop when I didn't know what I was doing. And I do have plans. Like, I'm not just gonna stay in this house. I'm gonna own it. I'm gonna spend part of my time here. But there is plans of me moving to a city, and I'm having discussions, having meetings about it, and I'm actually going into it really organized. And I think it is gonna happen because I am, you know, 28, and there's some things I want to do before I actually settle down, and this has been one of those things I've always wanted to do. I'm really putting in the work and I'm really excited. But I want you guys to get adjusted to this house. I feel like I finally told myself, Nikki, it's okay to get used to this house now. You're gonna stay in it. I remember last time I sat in this spot on this couch, I was crying about maybe moving to LA. I just wanted to keep you guys in the loop, but I feel like it was giving messy because like, I was a mess. I didn't know what I was doing. I felt like I'd gotten so used to being so real with my content. I wanted to continue that, but it just confused you guys. I'm starting to learn there's some things you can put on the internet and there's some things that you shouldn't. And I'm also learning to have grace with myself. I feel like I'm so hard on myself. And this year, if I didn't have grace with myself, I would have been just like beating myself up emotionally and mentally. I'm really proud of myself. I never thought I would be able to dive into change the way I've been diving into change. And that's what I did all year. I cut myself some breaks here and there, and I'm not proud of my content this year. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not proud of this channel, but I know that it's just a phase of my channel. It's not forever on my channel, and I'm really excited about my future content now that I feel like I'm finally grounded back into myself. I love you guys so much. I just wanted to get this video out there so we can just get right on into it with all the fun content. Look forward to house makeover content, and a lot of music is coming this summer. I actually have a project coming out next month. And yeah, just thanks for watching. Thanks for hearing me out. Be sure to subscribe, press the bell. You're not gonna wanna miss that. I've also been posting a lot on TikTok. My battery thing's flashing and it's stressing me out. So I guess that's my signal to stop this video. But I love you guys so much. You guys are my friends. And even though I feel like we distanced, I feel like it was just a phase. I think I had to just take a step back, and like now I'm like ready, now that I'm feeling better. I'm excited to see where my content goes this year. But I love you guys so much. Thanks for always being there. Thanks for supporting me. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye. Mwah.
She's the girl's gone mad, so sad, the one you want but can't have. Hair black, now she's